Hey senior high leaders, I'm closing up shop here for the morning after Palm Sunday, and I just wanted to shoot out a quick video message to all senior high leaders, student leaders, and adult leaders in regards to this week's upcoming series. And super important that we just take a couple minutes to talk about this series. That's why the sync and the student leadership were scheduled today. I know it's spring break, but it's also the week right before we start this really, I don't know what the word is. I guess the word is roller coaster series is about to happen, where we're talking about things that keep people away from the church. And Leadership Sync definitely kept people away from the church today. Because no one was there. So wanted to just get you up to speed with what's happening. I want you to feel equipped to be able to handle these conversations that are going to happen over the next few weeks when we talk about church and world religions, church and science, church and sex, and then church and homosexuality. The big idea that I want to hit home comes out of Ephesians 4, and it's verses 1 through 7. The big idea in Ephesians 4, 1 through 7 is unity in the body. So we've all been called to different things. We've all got different, we're all part of a different part of the body of Christ, yet we need all the parts working together for there to be a body and for the body to work well. And so as we talk about these issues, an important thing to remember is that unity among believers is huge. We could pick one issue, one of many issues, and dig our heels into the sand and just say, I'm not going to budge on this. I'm going to divide myself from the rest of the group. But there's so much more that we have in common as leaders and as Christians than we have differences. So unity in the body, a big idea as we approach this series. It goes on in chapter 4, verses 15 in particular, talking about speaking the truth in love. And that's exactly what we want to do with this series. We want to speak the truth in love. We want to approach each one of these topics in a way that we have conviction, but we also have compassion. And we don't want to let our conviction stomp out our compassion. We don't want to let our compassion just throw our conviction out the window. So we want to hold conviction and compassion, truth and love together as we approach this series and engage people who are of other religions, who have questions of faith because of their view of science, or who are homosexual. We want to make sure we are holding conviction and compassion together, not elevating one over the other or throwing one out for the sake of the other. So that's another big thing. Speaking the truth in love is a huge deal. We want to stand firm in our biblical convictions and stand firm in our biblical compassion, and try to model Jesus in that way. A couple questions I just want to throw out as we talk about church and this series is how would you speak the truth in love to someone who thinks that church and science oppose each other? How would you speak the truth in love to someone who comes to core during the World Religions Night and is of a different religion? How would you hold the biblical truth of Jesus and what we believe as Him being the way, the truth, and the life, with loving that person where they're at and not stomping our opinions on them in a way that drives them away because we're so fired up by our conviction? Rather, loving them compassionately due to our conviction to love well. So, another couple questions just to spark some thoughts. How would you speak the truth in love to a student who is sexually active? How would you speak the truth in love to someone who is homosexual? As I met with student leaders today, they had some great wisdom and great insight that we all could benefit from. And the main point that we talked about with all these things, and they brought it up, they thought of it, was listening. Man, if we took our time to listen, to ask questions, to clarify, and to try to understand the opposite or opposing or a different viewpoint than our own, we would do so much better than just talking. We need to listen with compassion so that we can sharpen our convictions and to meet people where they're at. And so that's the big point of this series. It's It's more meant to open the door to conversation. Now, we could go up in front for these next 4 weeks and just talk about here's what to believe, here's what to believe, here's what to believe, which, to be honest, is way easier for me. It's way easier for me to get up there and just to say, here's my 4 points. It's going to be really difficult for me to live into the idea of this series, and that idea is that we got to be able to talk about this in a way, conversationally, to address these issues conversationally, because at the end of the day, what's not going to lead to students owning their faith and owning their stance on these issues is us just saying, here's what to believe, but rather what's going to help our students own their faith and their stance on these issues, or their opinions on these issues, is us just facilitating conversation and letting students talk. I believe that there is a right and wrong to a lot of these things. We don't want to lean into that, though, with this series. We want to lean more into the question, the conversation, the idea that there are other views out there that people who are trying to be true and faithful to the Bible hold that are different than ours. And we got to understand them, love them, and engage them so that we can engage and love and serve the world around us. So, questions, talk to me. Would love to answer anything you have as you're thinking about the upcoming series. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Sorry you couldn't make it this morning. I've also attached some good stuff as far as the upcoming schedule, the Church End series overview, and you know how to get a hold of me. Enjoy the day. Hope to talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you Wednesday. See ya.